So there's currently a new bill in the House of Representatives. It's called, like, H.R. 603, I believe. However, its unofficial name is the Stop Arming Terrorists Act. Basically, it says that the United States cannot provide federal funding to terrorist organizations like ISIS or Al-Qaeda. That's all it basically says. It doesn't say any particular country. It doesn't say, like, we can't provide funding to Saudi Arabia or something. No, it specifically just says we can't fund terrorism. This bill is extremely vague. Now, that vagueness could be used to the advantage of the people who want to arm terrorism later, but that's another story. But basically, the bill is like something like Dodd-Frank, where it's really weak. So really, there's no reason not to pass it. But the thing is, all of these members of the House will probably want to feel like they're strong on terrorism, because that's one of the things you don't want to be in the United States. You don't want to be soft on terrorism. You don't want to be viewed as soft on terrorism. They can be like, oh, I'm hard on terrorism. I voted for 900 different interventions. Meanwhile, you want to know how many supporters this bill has as of right now in the House? 13. I am going to do the math right in front of you. 13 divided by there are 435 members of the House of Representatives. Times that by 100. That means 2.9, almost 3% of everyone in the House supports this bill. 3%. That is shameful. It's shameful that we need a bill called the Stop Arming Terrorists Act in the first place, honestly. I mean, in a world that makes sense, we wouldn't have needed it, but the United States has a long history of funding terrorist groups ever since the 1980s. It's a shame we needed that to begin with, but then, this should have been the most easy thing ever. Like, I've talked in the past, like, a few days ago, about the Stop Funding Saudis bill. At least you can make some vague argument for that. It was a horrible argument that at best proved you had no clue what was going on in Saudi Arabia, or at worst, showed that you're a downright liar. But it was an argument. You can't make an argument against this. You can't say, oh, I'm fine with arming terrorists. I like arming terrorists. Well, okay, you probably could. No one's going to say that publicly, though, even though there are some people who definitely are. Mainly people who take money from, defense industries, things like that. But yeah, this is just so pathetic that we need a bill called the Stop Arming Terrorists Act, and that it's having so little support, and that's really it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.